And joining me now is Democratic Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. Senator Kelly, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you for having me on, Kristen.
It's great to have you back. I do want to start with the Middle East, the death of Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah. You just heard me discussing this with Senator Marco Rubio. Are you bracing for Iran to retaliate?
Well, I think the IDF sent a powerful message to Hezbollah, and I was listening to what Senator Rubio had said, and I couldn't agree with him more. I mean, Israel needs to get its population back, to the northern border, and this has been a really challenging situation that they've been faced with, and they've got to, do something about it. It's good Nasrallah is dead. He's a terrorist. He's killed so many innocent people, and that needs to be addressed, and it has been addressed. And the Iranians, they're involved in this already through the Houthis and their other proxies and through Hezbollah. So I think the message has been sent, and my hope is that there is not further conflict in the northern part of Israel.
I want to talk to you about big picture a little bit, Senator, the way in which Israel has been conducting this war. You and I discussed this back in May, and here's what you told me.
They have to do a better job. I want to see some changes here, and I've talked to the ambassador, the Israeli ambassador, Michael Herzog, about this specifically, that if we don't see some changes, I think it is appropriate to put conditions on some of this aid.
So you told me there, Senator, Israel has to do a better job. Have they, since you first told me that back in May?
Well, we continue to have this discussion with the Israelis. I talked to Israeli leadership about this and have made it very clear to them that the type of weapons they use and where they use them, it matters, and it matters a lot. This is a dense urban environment. In my background as a naval aviator, flying in combat over Iraq and Kuwait, it's a challenging situation to be able to take out a target where there is a civilian population. But this is a terrorist organization they're dealing with. Hamas is responsible for initiating this conflict with what happened about a year ago on October 7th. So we continue to talk to our allies, Israel, about how they're conducting this operation. Hey, civilian loss of life is tragic wherever it happens. And, the Palestinian people that live in Gaza, they're not Hamas. There are Hamas terrorists there that Israel is focused on eliminating because they cannot have this threat so close to their border.
Senator,
but it's a continuous discussion.
Senator, you said, just to be very clear, I think it's appropriate to put conditions on some of that aid if you don't see some changes. It sounds like you are not at that point yet where you want to see aid conditioned. Do I hear you accurately?
Yeah, that's correct. We continue to talk to them. I've seen some positive responses from them when I have specifically asked them to do things differently. Here's an example. I mean, the use of guided munition with a Mark 80 series bomb, you could hit a target very accurately. If you're using naval gunfire, that doesn't work so well. I've had those discussions. We see more of use of guided munitions, JDAMs, and we continue to provide those weapons. That 2,000-pound bomb that was used, that's a Mark 84 series bomb to take out Nasrallah. That was a guided, I'm pretty confident that was a guided weapon that was used in that case.
All right, let me ask you about another topic. You were with Vice President Kamala Harris when she visited the border on Friday. Harris has said she would extend President Biden's executive actions that restrict asylum. She would ramp up prosecutions against those who cross the border illegally. Do you support those actions, Senator?
I was with the vice president a couple days ago at the border. It was great to have her there. It was a really good trip. She got to meet with elected leaders, talk about these issues specifically and how it affects Arizona, the state of Arizona. Hey, she's a prosecutor. She's a border senator, a border attorney general. She knows how to handle these issues. The executive actions that the White House took, I mean, they had to take these executive actions because Donald Trump told Senate Republicans that they were not allowed to work out a deal with Democrats. We actually had the deal, and then he told them that they had to walk away from this. Because Donald Trump doesn't want to solve this problem. He just wants to talk about problems. So, yeah, I mean, she's prepared on day one to deal with this issue. She said she would sign that legislation into law. It's up to us in the Senate, myself, Senator Rubio, and others to bring that legislation back and send it to her desk.
Let me read to you what some immigrant rights groups are saying. As you know, they sued the Biden administration for restricting asylum, saying these policies are, quote, cruel and ineffective. What is your response to those who argue that Vice President Harris's actions would seriously infringe on the right to asylum and that they are inhumane?
Well, let me first start with what's inhumane, and that's Donald Trump taking children away from their parents. That's not the situation here. I mean, she is trying to manage and will try to manage a situation at our southern border that often gets chaotic and can get to a crisis level. And that's not safe for migrants. It's not safe for Border Patrol agents. It's not safe for the communities in southern Arizona. So she's committed to working on this issue. That's why she was meeting with the Cochise County Sheriff 2 days ago and Republican mayors in the area. We had some productive conversations, and she's ready to deal with this on day one.
Senator, let me ask you about the economy. Of course, the vice president also put a focus on that this week, saying she would raise corporate taxes to pay for her economic plans. Experts estimate her plans could cost about $1 trillion. The Nonpartisan Tax Foundation estimates that raising the corporate tax rate to 28%, which Harris has proposed, will cost jobs, reduce wages, and hurt economic growth. Do you support raising the corporate tax rate to 28%?
Well, I think it got lowered too much under Donald Trump's tax plan, where he also, by the way, gave a giant tax cut to billionaires like himself.
So is that a yes,
friends.
Senator? Is that a yes?
Let me say something about. I think it's worth looking at. Donald Trump added trillions of dollars to the deficit. His Project 2025 plan is going to raise costs for families $4,000. It's according to economists. This isn't coming from me. According to economists, it's going to trigger a recession, high inflation. Costs are going to go up for the American people. I mean, that's Donald Trump's plan. Kamala Harris is focused on bringing down costs for Americans and American families, on child care, on health care, on prescription drugs. She cares about families. Donald Trump cares about billionaires. He's made that perfectly clear in his last administration. And I expect, and his plan, Project 2025, pretty much says he's going to double down on what he did previously.
All right. Senator Mark Kelly, thank you so much for your insights this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.